YouTube, thanks for tuning in. Anyways, this is a video response to a question that was posted on one of my videos, my experiments with dipping. Anyways, and here it goes. The question was from dlongwing, user dlongwing. I'm curious, do you have any thoughts on how Varathane compares to the more traditional Minwax polyshades? I have a can of polyshades sitting around and an army to paint. I'm debating picking up a can of Varathane instead. Well, I think you could probably keep the polyshades if it's the color that you want. This is the can of Varathane stain and polyurethane that I used. It's a water base, and this is Minwax polyshades. It's an oil based. Varathane does make an oil based stain and polyurethane. Minwax, I believe, only makes an oil base. Basically, they're apples versus apples, just of a different tree. Difference between the two, aside from color, and this being a water, the Varathane I have here being a water base and this an oil base, not much. They're both a stain and varnish, kind of like army painter and stuff like that, where you dip it, gets your shading, and has a clear coat, and it's done. The benefit to water base, doesn't stink, dries quicker. But beyond that, I mean, use what you want. You can also use your basic oil stains, where here's the Minwax, Varathane, Old Master's another brand. Basically another, same thing, apples versus apples. Just pick a color that you want. Now in here, I would prefer the Minwax because it is a linseed base oil stain, and the Varathane is using a soy oil base, and I find that the pigment stays suspended in the linseed medium better than in the Varathane soy medium. Old Masters, that's still linseed too, I believe. But I mean, if you find a color that works best for you and it happens to be Varathane, use it. I mean, you just have to, I think, stir it a little more frequently. But you're still going to get relatively the same results. The one thing with these products you have to consider, you do have to put a finish coat on afterwards. But, you know, Krylon dull or Tester's dull coat or Krylon matte finish will work great, because on these, the polyshades, where there's also a gloss version, this is satin, but there's also gloss, and I think it's in a blue can, and that's kind of a semi-gloss. You would put dull coat on afterwards because I think it's a bit too shiny for miniatures. This stuff, you have a wider range and you can end up doing a little more with it. I hope that answers the question, dlongwing. And for anyone else, I think you could probably stick with the polyshades and just play around with it. If you like the color and the effect, buying another can of Varathane, unless you're going to use it for something else. I do a lot of woodworking too, so that's why I have lots of stains kicking around. But as far as for your shading, if you like the color of the polyshades you have, use it. Anyways, that's all I got for you today. Thanks for tuning in, and hope to see you guys later and get some comments on this, and I hope to get some more videos done. Ciao.